Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of As Far As You Can Tell. I'm Joe. With me is...
Andrea.
Ashley.
Rachel.
JP.
And he's a strong, independent black woman who don't need no man.
Not me. Brad. Yep.
That's weird. Went in a different order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
What?
What's happening?
Usually it's Andrea, Rachel, Ashley, JP.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should go first.
I mean, you still went first. It was... Yeah.
I was
You like
Andrea.
look that direction.
I was Wait, what? But this is As Far As You Can Tell. We're an actual play Pathfinder game set in the Zodiac Empires Campaign Setting. As you can tell, we have a different setup than usual. We are inside for the cold winter months, so we don't freeze to death.
This is like reverse hibernating.
Something like that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Quick little summary of what happened last time. The party... Okay, I really only remember one thing that we did, and that was talk to a Raznad. Because it was the most important thing we've ever done.
The earliest thing I can remember was Raziel falling asleep for 3 weeks.
I feel like that was the session before.
Yeah.
Oh, too early. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I know that
She stole a
it's-
scepter.
That's where we started. You
Oh.
ganked the scepter
That's right.
from one Edgar, the Vantis.
It was fake, but
We determined it was fake.
it actually worked out well because we got an inside look at his mansion.
Thanks to Valor, we got to kind of glimpse a memory construct type deal thing where we got to just walk around and investigate things. We found where there might be an alchemist lab. We found... Didn't we find the way down into the basement?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a big
Like a hidden
portrait.
That's what
And
it
then
was.
there's a good way to get into because there's like a door next to it, so you can basically like
Yeah.
come in the door and then swoop down into the basement without having to go through the whole house.
Right.
So that will be beneficial.
But yeah, we figured out a whole bunch of stuff about the estate itself. Then the party had a very long, informative, and mind-opening conversation with the most important character of this campaign, Raznad.
Yeah.
And we learned that Raznad is actually as badass as we thought.
He killed a Vandal. Confirmed.
Not just Babao anymore, it's a full-on Vandeal that he's
Oh, I know
killed.
how the session ended.
Yeah, I do too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we found out who his rider was. One Zachary Hawken, an old friend who was the leader of the Church of Guardian back in Anchorage. We dealt with him during the Ostia's Grace arc that we had gone through. But after we finished talking to Raznad, we went to sleep. Next day we wake up. I think some time passed. Nothing really important happened in between. And then Luna came back through the window, and walking in up to Raznad down in the courtyard was Zachary Hawkins. And that's where we ended. And I think we were going to go speak to him. I mean, I
We're
figured.
gonna talk
I
to
mean,
him.
yeah.
Yup.
Yep.
We also think that he may be some sort of touch or...
The touch was just like a.
It's a
I
meta
don't. I don't
theory.
know that our characters would expect that.
We think that he may be closely
That was a
involved
meta.
with some...
We think he's way stronger than we
Yeah.
thought.
We got a little meta with the Raznad conversation because it was a little whimsical and we were just kind of all pizza deprived and like Yup.
Great
Yeah,
pizza.
last week was a thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was Burn Pizzagate 2016.
But we think
Never
he's way
forget.
more badass than what we originally thought, too.
Oh, yeah.
And we knew that he was...
Indeed.
Okay.
So we're gonna go talk.
Take it away, Brad.
I mean, the party, Hove currently sees a Zachary walking
No, I
up
think.
to
Zachary's outside. Now their entire party knows.
Duh. We're gonna go visit Zachary.
Yeah.
He's approaching my horse. His horse. Our horse.
The horse.
Ooh, is
No
there going
horse.
to be a...
Are you?
Are you guys going to have, like, a parenting agreement?
Well, Raznad clearly makes the decision.
Yeah, you don't choose to ride a Raznad. A Raznad chooses you.
Kids are old enough to be asked.
I choose you, Raziel.
In this case, you were the child.
He puts me in a Pokeball. Oh god, what just happened to Raziel?
Do you want your thing?
So yeah, I tell everyone that Zachary's here, and then I start going downstairs.
You arrive downstairs in the central courtyard of the apartment complex, as you have a dozen times. It's a little bit warmer than usual. Sun's out. It's good. The
So my
windows
guns
above
are
you
out.
aren't covered in snow. You walk downstairs to find a clad in full plate Zachary patting a Raznot on the neck, who seems to be enjoying himself.
Oh shit! Holy shit!
He nods at you as you approach.
Long time no see.
A couple of weeks. A couple of months, actually.
I was like,
I was
it's been a
gonna say.
while longer
Yeah.
than that.
We spent a couple weeks in a couple cities.
What brings you here?
We'll say that I owe someone an old debt.
Well, I'm legitimately curious what brought you here, because you shouldn't be able to find here.
What do you mean?
He was outside. You can find outside.
You can find here,
But where to get my address?
not upstairs.
I don't think we left the address for anybody. The courier couldn't even find it. My
No,
address.
courier couldn't find your apartment.
Yeah.
Your actual
Not
apartment
the-
is the only thing shielded, not the whole building.
But did we send
We have a bunch
them
of hobos
where we're
living in
at
the building.
anywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, we had a courier try to deliver something here. It's not really a. At that point, cat's out of the bag.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Did you need anything? Are you looking for us, or?
No, just saying hello to an old friend.
Oh,
Someone bought my horse.
How do you end up with a random trader up outside of town?
Someone sold my horse.
Oh, okay. Who had your horse?
I sold my horse.
Oh.
Why would you sell him?
Because I didn't want him to be tied down for a significant amount of time. Raznat's a wandering soul. He doesn't enjoy pastures.
Unless they're full of
Um,
enemies.
Seems true enough.
Unless it's a Vandal in that
are
pasture.
you aware that you're supposed to be dead, according to what we've been told?
Excuse me, what?
I sent word.
I mean, I'm not, obviously.
I can see that. I sent word back to Anchorage.
Can I
They
roll it?
said you went missing and
Necromancy
died
check?
in a fishing accident.
Oh, yeah, that's the, sorry, that's the cover-up, so nobody would realize that I left.
Why acting all surprised about that shit?
I assume you actually spoke to somebody important besides a courier.
No, we couldn't get a hold of anyone. I think we have messages out, but no, we didn't get a response from anyone yet.
Apparently. Anyway.
Because Holly's MIA, and
Holly's not MIA, she's at your keep. That was the first place I went.
She wasn't MIA. She wasn't found in town.
I know they couldn't find her, so it's just
They hadn't gone to the keep because we hadn't sent them to the keep. We sent them to
Stupid couriers.
fucking couriers getting everything wrong.
Well, we told them what to do.
There's no go-getters in the courier.
No one. You don't want
You don't want
anyone
them
to
tips?
know that you left Anchorage.
With the current happenings in Anchorage, it's best if I remain incognito for at least a little while.
What's going on in Anchorage?
You know, the standard political coup, takeover of a city from a outside force kind of thing.
The standard. I was a gloom once.
Interesting.
It wasn't happening when we were there, was it?
No. The Black Rings have made their appearance.
Yeah, they're producing a lot of them.
Hundreds.
yeah, it's a thing.
So what brings you to Dragonheart, other than your old friend here?
Like I said, settling an old debt.
Old debt?
Yeah, we, you know, Darkest War, traitor, killing people, debt.
Traitor.
Traitor or traitor? He's either trading goods
He's a traitor. Which one is it?
or he's tracking down.
Do you hate the economy or evil?
Both.
He
He's
happens to be a
traitor,
merchant.
Traitor. Okay.
Trader. Oh my god.
Yeah, so about the Darkest War. I talked to Raznod.
I'm sorry. You what?
I talked to Raznod.
Oh, okay.
He told me about some grand adventures you had during the Darkest War.
He turns to you. Is she going crazy?
She bought a potion.
Oh, okay. You actually talked to the Raznod. I mean, many people seek his wisdom, but
He is an oracle.
Oh my god.
he can commune. Yeah, we've had a interesting time together.
He calls you Shiny Man.
He glances down at his pristine armor. Yeah, it happens. I mean, he has simple tastes.
Exquisite. Thank you.
You correct him.
He likes good hay.
He does like good hay.
I treated him well while he was mine.
You mean while you were his?
Accurate.
I think we all know how a Raznod works at this point.
Oh my god. Well, you were.
Is there anything we can help you with while you're here? How long will you be in town?
Until my business is finished.
Something tells me it's probably connected to our current business here.
Could be possible. It might be.
He's asking
What's
you
your current
questions.
business in Dragonheart?
Dead people?
Rings.
Rings.
Killing assholes.
A lot of that.
Well, that's against the law.
That killed other assholes.
What
Demons
kind of
are
rings?
assholes.
Evil rings?
Black rings.
Black rings?
So
The
maybe-
mind controlling type.
So, do we have any place we can talk about this in private as he glances around?
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of hobos hanging around.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Here, take someone's hand.
I take his hand.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, go.
Come with me.
Okay.
Sorry, it was necessary.
He follows you wherever you take him.
I assume it's upstairs to
Yeah.
On a date.
to the cafe next door.
Can I perceive first to make sure this is actually Zachary Hawkins?
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea.
Because you never know. Could be a really skilled imposter.
That would be
Yup.
terrible.
Yeah.
Sense
Nope.
motive might be
Well,
I'll do a sense motive.
I'm gonna perceive.
see
Nat
it.
20.
Oh my god.
First
Wow.
roll of the day.
Starting out like
11
Leslie.
for a sense motive, but it was in that one. So.
Wait till the combat starts.
We rolling twos.
I'm perceiving if this is Zachary Hawkins.
He distinctly reminds you of the man you fought side by side with in the battles of the Guardian Keep.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yes, you believe this man is correct and alive.
Is he wearing a ring?
Oh, thank you, Spencer.
Do we need to cut off his hand?
Yay!
Digitals or?
Digits?
He's not wearing rings.
No.
Well,
it is
he might have
on,
rings, but
they're not.
none of them are black sapphire.
It smells so good.
So have one.
There's one in this whole bowl.
I'm typing. It's sticky.
Paper towel.
Paper towel.
Orange me.
Orange me, Captain. I can't resist. Once like it smells like oranges, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll lead him upstairs.
Okay. He has a slightly confusing moment when he tries to figure out what the hell's going on when he can't really walk forward and then he gets pulled forward. It was weird. In any case, he figures it out.
We embrace.
As you pull him into the apartment, he turns to Vale and says, "That was interesting. How did you accomplish this?"
Set up a while ago.
Oh. This is Violet's doing?
No. Someone else close to me.
He looks around.
Who did it?
She doesn't live here.
Oh, it was her.
Oh, okay.
Old friend.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're calling them.
Yeah, friends. My boyfriend lives here.
Speaking of which, as you pull them into the apartment, Elric and Rohan are gone. Rowan, sorry.
Where the heck do they go?
They're on the buddy system. That's all I care about.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Are they getting a haircut?
Is Luna here?
No, Luna is also missing.
Were they here when we
Yes.
left? Okay.
I'll take my victories as I can get them. If
At
they're
least-
both gone together, I'll
yeah,
accept
and
it.
with Luna.
Mhm.
Too.
As long as I don't go through portals alone, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said they're done with that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, guys, heart.
One can hope.
Well, we're alone in
We're
private
alone.
now.
I give him a room. Just one of them,
Sure.
you know.
He goes in there. He sets a small book on the side table and leaves.
I try to be hospitable.
So tell me about your plans in Dragonheart. What situation do you currently find yourself in?
We have some pretty powerful enemies. People are making these rings here. They're headquartered here.
Gather as much?
So we've been
We tell him.
gathering intel and
What do you know about the rings?
yeah. We don't want to waste your time with redundant information here.
Sure. He tells you how he knows that they possess the ability to mind control subjects. How he had to pull one off of his second in command shortly before the assaults took place that you guys intervened in. He tosses you the black ring at that moment.
He pulled
He
it
pulled
off.
it?
Sure.
How?
Violently. With a sword.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
that's usually the way that.
You should see her cut off fingers.
It's eloquent, and
It is.
Getting pretty skilled.
then I realized Rael's actually listening. Butchered.
Spencer, tell me about this onesie.
Oh god.
He explains that he's here looking for a man by the name of
Vantis. Z Vantis.
I was gonna ask.
Edgar Bowman.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He's been chasing him for quite some time. He was
Same.
involved in the Darkest War.
Same.
Um,
I asked if he's made any connection between the rings and extraplanar activity, because we certainly have.
no, and he would like the scoop on that.
I'm gonna start with the shadow demons and kind of ease.
We're
my
gonna
way
work
up.
our way to Vantis.
We're gonna work our way to Vantis, but this is a delicate uphill trek. We brought rations, yeah.
We've brought rats.
We're like, have a seat, Zachary. He's
Right.
sitting down.
So we're going
Have a seat.
Gloom, Shadow Demons, Void, Gloom, Shadow Demons. Okay.
Yeah.
Void, Gloom, Shadow Demons, Vantis.
Yeah.
In that order. When you get to the Vantis, he's like, oh, yeah, I figured as much.
We're pretty sure he fought a Vandiel, so it's okay.
I want to ask him, but I'm not going to ask him.
I mean, we could ask him. Raznat said he was at.
His betrayal is well known among the Brotherhood.
Oh.
Can you elaborate, sir?
Yeah, he wasn't originally a Vantis.
Well,
Most Vantises aren't.
right.
Two Vantis.
Oh yeah.
There are two
He's
Vantis.
good. Who's with another?
It's my mom. You can
Although
go
we
in.
know his intentions with. Wait, have you? This is the first time you told us it's your mom?
No, I think we talked about it.
I mean, that was a yes or no question. You said,
I think you guys know.
I think we talked about it.
I think you know.
He explains that Edgar's original last name was not Bowman. He took that name upon joining the Darkest, or the Shattered Hand, as they rampaged across Valor. He was one of the highest ranking paladins within the Order of Vangal.
So it's personal.
He explains that he's been tracking him ever since, and he knew that he was in Dragonheart but couldn't come here due to the sheer amount of influence that Edgar possesses among the more powerful members of the city.
We've been struggling with that ourselves, but there's a whole group dedicated to taking care of the problem, as it were.
Dude, I want a fucking shark onesie. What the hell is this?
At least they've been attempting to undermine him wherever they can, economically, politically.
I also need cat pictures because clearly you have a cat.
Because clearly.
He has a cat? Oh man.
There's a cat tree. I hope.
I hope it's not his. Let's see what else. One second, hold on. Edgar's.
Is his wife and kids real, or is that a complete ruse? Did we ever figure that out?
That is a complete ruse. He
So
possesses
there's,
no
like-
wife and kids.
So he just like bought the stock photos at Walmart and left them in the frames.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Anyway, he mentions that Bowman is not Edgar's original last name. He took it upon joining the Shattered Hand, and he has set himself up fairly well, especially even in the wake of the Darkest War and the. Shit, what was I gonna say?
Or no, you want to tell us?
At his apparent loss in the Borderlands at the end of the war.
What was his original last name?
Hawkins.
Well.
It is me, your brother.
Would you like to go bowling?
So
Oh my
is it
God.
his brother?
It's his actual. Oh,
Is it his father?
Cousin?
coincidence?
Son.
Oh.
He's not a dragon man, though, is he?
What?
Zachary's not a dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not.
No.
No,
I thought he was a
Human.
Vasar.
he's a human, bro.
No.
Who was the Vasar guy? The blue Vasar?
That guy
That guy died.
died.
Was that just an
Yeah.
unnamed hero? I
Yeah.
just
Yeah, he
Yeah,
died.
the unnamed hero. You actually never learned his name, and then he was
Oh.
killed.
Well, I've been carrying him in my heart, apparently. So, Zachary Human, got it.
Zachary Human. Got it.
I was so fucked up. I'm like, wait, did he just have a human son?
That changes everything.
I actually thought the same thing. I'm like,
I was like, wait a minute, what?
Zachary was human.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
noted.
Your son.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he older? How old is Zachary?
He's older.
I just turned 50 last month. My son is 36.
So you were with a day over 25.
That man.
He got so busy.
I had 47 sons.
This is pretty
I have way more than that.
Is this
Every day.
14? Jesus.
Day?
I thought it was 24.
A son every 4 hours.
Dang.
I'm assuming he was an accident.
There are no accidents, only happy mistakes. No, actually, this would be an accident.
Uh,
This is not a happy mistake.
is he? He must be really handsome looking.
Is he handsome?
Zachary?
Is he a silver fox?
I bought him.
I got a 10.
I got a
so
9.
He's a silver fox.
We rolled for this before, and everyone rolled high before.
Yeah.
8, yeah.
Zachary is
But
an
I thought he was a
attractive
dragon
dude.
man at the time. This changes everything. 7.
This changes
I'm pretty
everything.
sure Vale knew it wasn't.
Vale's been looking at
It
him
just
like a
now
dragon
occurred.
this whole time.
What does it matter? You can just turn into a dragon girl.
True.
Can I?
No.
No.
I was like, I don't think I can.
Nope.
Because he's a dragon.
Can't do
There's
Vasar.
things I can't do, yeah. And I can do
Eldera and
AMRI, but
Vasar.
it's super fake as shit because I don't have
You just
any.
You could
Make-
be
yeah.
a lizard folk.
Yeah. I
you can be.
think
You basically can't have wings.
Yeah.
Could you be a lizard? Like the scale?
I mean, she was.
Mm-hmm.
She did
oh,
that.
she was.
She can turn into any humanoid. She just can't turn into Fae, so she can't turn into Innocent.
There's some where it's like typing.
Construct
is the
can't
reason.
turn into
Type,
a.
it's always typing. She can't turn into an
Subtype.
Eldera because of typing.
Mhm.
Living
She
on tree.
can turn into Amorai. She can't turn into a Noir.
Well, Amorai is like weird.
I mean,
I don't have the telepathy. It'd be really
Yeah.
obvious to any MRI,
Yeah.
but a bunch of like
Hey,
random
ding,
humans
ding, ding.
I pass.
Huh?
Basically, all the exceptions are all the unique Z.
unless you had that sigil.
Then you can fake that shit. Or you were a Scion.
That shit's so P.
Or you could just be a psionic noir, which would be interesting. That'd be
Do we
cool.
get cat pictures? He has 2 cats.
Anyways,
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're
Someone
so
answer the
cool.
Discord question? Oh, no.
He's like the ones that get
Oh.
flying.
We're in Discord all the time. We play video games, hang out on voice chat. There's
You can listen to us yell at each other about killing the stupid Farah or something.
We had a lot of people. We had like 10.
Yeah, we
plus
took a-
people
I
in
took a
voice
picture
the
of
other
them.
night. Yeah,
I think it was like 12.
it was a lot.
It was
a lot of people.
It was a lot. There's also already a lot of people in.
Thank you guys for sitting there and listening to us yell at each other while playing Overwatch.
I think, what were we talking about?
yep.
Was it that? Yeah, it was. Yep.
Yep.
We were memeing on each other. No big deal.
Anyway,
My life.
so Zachary explains that the process of him turning into a Vantis aged him rapidly in his standard human form, but
Well, he could probably look like whatever he wants.
yes, he can, and he you don't want to see his Vantis form. It's the only thing he says.
Do you have...
Why not?
Wait, haven't we seen it?
No.
No. Is it scary?
We've only ever seen him like that?
The only time you guys ever seen him before was like a shadowy humanoid form.
Probably didn't get a super good look at it.
Well, that's what I
but
meant. I just
good
didn't
enough
know
to track
if
it.
I saw like a towering thing. Did
He's
it have-
15 feet tall at the moment. When the first time you met him.
That's what I mean.
That's good.
But I probably couldn't make out features.
No.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, Zachary spent the last 6 months of his life. Sorry, 6 months? 6 years of his life. Attempting
6
to
months, holy shit.
track down the original Vandeal
Aralaria.
in order to free his son.
Oh.
You've been tracking Aralaria for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this guy's way more badass than us. Fuck.
I finally found
Is
Aralaria.
that who you
Razdot
fought?
fucking killed it.
What?
Is that who you fought?
No.
Who did you fight then?
Do you know what his cultists are up to
Which ones?
in regards to this?
The regular ones?
Yeah.
You know, the normal. Stealing everything's stuff. What my son is up to is unknown. I have no idea what his end goals is.
We've put the pieces together between Kurzen's Beckoning, the Scepter, the Mind Control Rings, and something happening here, and it
got
keeps
something
getting
to
closer
do
and
with the
closer, is the concern. I would explain the time frames between, like, the stuff that we found, and I know we keep saying a few months, but it must be closer than it was before, so it's definitely...
Cousins were probably
Yeah.
about 4 months out.
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
It's about every 75 years, so there's no way of completely telling.
Yeah.
I feel like I would at this point explain Hove and mine and Raziel's grudge.
Yeah.
And that when he said you don't want to see his true form, we'd probably chime in and say like, unfortunately we have.
It's big.
Due to your recollections, the Vantis form of Edgar is a towering humanoid of about 25 feet. He is covered in shadows, and you cannot make out any of his details.
Much like Arrow.
Which is what you would expect of a
Vantis of Aralaria.
Right.
For the most part, he has large shadow-like wings, which enable him to fly. He can teleport. You guys know that already. Let's see. What else would you know having fought him? He can spawn shadow demons at will.
Oh, cool.
He essentially tears open rifts into the gloom.
Like
And
me.
And they're
pulls
just
things
probably
out.
waiting.
Yeah.
There's probably like, God, I wonder what the other side of the gloom to him is.
That's not a kitten.
Like, he probably just walks around, and wherever he is on the gloom is just, like, full of shadow demon.
Oh, hey.
This isn't even my fault.
Did we ever figure out, was it just that the Church of the Wormfather, the massacre, was that just because they were looking deep into it? Did we ever find out a real motivation for it?
No.
Are they targeting you?
I'm going to tell, if you guys don't mind, I assume we can tell Zachary about it and ask
I
if
trust him.
anything like this has happened that he knows of and why they would have completely massacred.
After all the shit that went down in Anchorage,
Yeah.
I trust him.
Yeah. Does he have any insight, maybe?
Let's see. They attacked the Church of the Guardian Keep in Anchorage, primarily looking for me. Thankfully, none of them survived, with the assistance of your two friends here. As a follow-up to that, if I were to take a wild guess, now keep in mind I don't know anything about the situation you may have found yourselves in, but if the members of the Wormfather were close to either figuring out what he has, a method of taking it from him, fighting them directly on the gloom, maybe capturing the Void members, freeing them from whatever clutches that he has them in. I mean, in reality, he usually kills anyone who figures out that he's a Vantis. I'm actually surprised you guys have survived this long.
We're pretty
Though,
good at
I
hiding.
think the whole extra planar apartment probably helped.
Among other things. I stroke my sword.
I
Wow,
stroke
get a
mine.
move. Ow!
You're just like,
Moments.
I had blood in my hand.
Me and you lock eyes and fondle our weapons.
We all grab our hilts.
Oh my god.
I don't have one.
Mine's a little stick.
I grabbed my bandolier.
Her weapons is just a bunch of bottles.
Okay, so for anyone watching tonight, we are running a giveaway as normal. At 125 followers, we will determine, we will run essentially a random on whoever's currently in chat at the moment that has typed star called into chat in order to enter into the drawing. Once we hit 125 followers, we'll pick one of you and you get a digital copy of the campaign setting, the player's guide, and all 4 adventure paths that
The first
currently
half of the
exist.
Legacy and Old Showdown.
So they're pretty thick. They're formidable. They're legit. It was Kickstarter. It's a thing.
A couple people in chat already have copies of them, but I know
They are
Spencer
awesome.
picked his up directly from us at Gen Con.
Yeah.
Boss got copies recently.
Voss got copies. People's got copies.
I
Anyway.
should come to Gen Con.
I wish. That
Or
would be so
Iceland. Either one.
Or Iceland.
Iceland's
Iceland would be way
closer.
easier.
I think his tickets for Iceland would be actually really cheap.
I think we
Really
talked about it
cheap.
once.
Because like his ticket to Sweden is $50.
I mean, if
and
he
I'm
doesn't
like, what the
mind-
fuck? Yeah.
The girls can get in a room together and he can cuddle with one of the guys. It
Yeah.
might not be super comfortable. You'll just.
Well, he'll have to get it, like, that'll already be, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Logistically, like.
Do it. I don't care. Just do it.
Just do it. Anyway, so
Okay.
yes, type star called in the chat to enter in the giveaway. As a follow-up to that, he explains that Edgar has a habit of removing anyone who could move against him politically or make his life difficult. So
Before it becomes a problem.
yeah, generally he takes the more powerful individuals and rings them.
He puts a ring on it.
He puts a ring on it.
As a wise,
Anyone he could use politically.
as a wise bard named Beyonce once said.
A couple of things that Zachary's noticed over the years. He explains that Edgar never he never directly affects the economics of the city he's in. He usually actually makes it better. So the ruling family of White Rose will not intervene directly and generally ignores the situation.
It's hard for them to find out when he's not causing trouble.
Right. He spent 2 years in Sentinel, but was actually eventually ran out by the church.
The church.
Spencer types Star Called only to win stuff he already owns.
Make great gifts for the holidays. I mean, she can
Yeah.
send it to whoever through Dragonheart
He can
RPG.
just decide to give it to anybody.
He could just be like, "Boss, you get another copy." And Boss is like, "I already have another copy."
Now you decide. I've only deferred decision making.
Other than that, that's pretty much all he knows.
Okay.
In any case, he explains that he came here to deal directly with the matter at hand instead of attempting to fight it from the shadows, which apparently did not work out well for him,
Well,
as his entire church was killed in the process.
we would love to have you on board if you're willing to share that burden.
I'm sworn to carry your burdens.
And he gets a super secret room here, so I mean,
And he's cute.
he is cute.
I'm trying to think of what he can do. He has the same problem that Hove and I have, that we're not you. So it's like, oh, we're gonna go solve a problem loudly in full plate.
You
Oh
guys
yeah,
can
true,
just
Spencer. You would get the adventure paths.
you can
True.
do your full plate fun.
We're the full plate brigade. We find some cultists. We got them.
I would say that we could go ahead and tell him like all the people we know that are involved with it, that have rings, show him the plans of the
He
state.
could come to the next meeting.
Oh, he's coming to the next meeting.
We say there's a buddy system.
Yeah.
That
And
makes
don't go
sense.
into portals by yourself.
A Rosnod can count as a buddy.
Probs.
Zachary can count as 2 people.
I'm my own buddy.
Okay, buddy.
Do we tell him about the boys in Luna? I mean, they're going to be in the same house.
Yeah, so
Props,
there's
That's your
3
fault.
other people that
Live here?
live here. that
All
are
right.
living.
Sure.
So I
That's
give
fine.
them the details. One of them turns into a raven at will, and it's a Veyron, so no judgmentalness, please. She's great. She's a friend.
He gives you a look. Okay.
What type of look? I don't know what a look is.
The look is
There's peace under this roof.
I'm Inko Hertz with a Nazi. He's alright, though.
he's cool. I swear, he's cool. Just ignore his Third Reich uniform. It'll be fine.
No,
I mean, we're on the same team.
she saved my life.
Yeah, we're on the same team.
Legitimately, she could have killed
She's
me.
My thick neck saved my life.
She's a powerful ally.
My faith in a dragon god saved my life.
We're in the same religious order.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, that reveals a lot about Val. That was already obvious.
You have lotuses on everything, and you carry a shadow sword.
It all
What deity do you worship?
it all like hits him at once.
Terrace.
It all hits him at
You
once.
son of a bitch.
All of a
He's-
sudden, he's like,
Holy shit! I'm in a literal church. Dude.
Why is it so dark in here?
so that's what all the lotuses mean.
Oh, they're just not a pretty flower.
I
Their
know.
logo.
They mean
Oh.
something.
I don't think anything we've said though has led on about my sword. I don't know that we should yet.
Yeah, no.
I know, yeah, we probably
That
should.
and I would
It's
never
okay,
out,
boss. If I gave you cancer, you have universal health care.
Yeah.
I would never out you like that,
Yeah.
Raziel.
I don't know. I don't know.
Raziel.
Raz.
Raz.
Razzle dazzle.
It didn't really come up yet. I don't know that it.
I try not to tell Service
Yeah,
about it.
it's
I just
probably
collect 'em.
not gonna come up.
He just comes in and sees me sleeping on the couch next to a sword.
Could
And then
come
the
up,
sword just
but
hops around.
Not likely.
We just have to be careful.
I kind of wonder where those guys went though.
Do we need to go find him?
Put out a search party, maybe.
Clank
always
through
go.
the streets. Oh.
Rowan! Alright.
Run.
I would know some of his favorite places, like the barbershop that I pulled him out of the one day,
He's not even anywhere. He's
the library,
fancy.
the bookstore for the prospecting books he was going to purchase.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Prospecting books.
I'm like, oh, he's interested in mining. Interesting.
Interesting.
Well, did we tell him about the mansion?
Yeah, I figured we would show him.
We know how to get in and out.
This is going to take us at least a day.
We're in the situation room, which is just probably the kitchen table. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, it's where the snacks are.
I probably would be making tea.
You
for
put out
everybody.
like a
I mean, wouldn't
platter
we
of cold
have-
cuts and cheese
Yeah.
and yeah.
I would never trust any tea that Anna made.
Me neither, probably.
I drink it and I
But
turn
it's
into a human.
really
What
good.
the?
It's
It's
probably
very good.
she knows her stuff, so it's
Yeah.
probably delicious.
It's probably
Probably
super
damn
delicious.
good.
But you gotta trust her.
I trust her.
Like literally, if you don't, you die.
Yeah.
It's a spell.
There may have been like one time where I'm like, no, don't drink it. That I forgot. I
It's
mixed
not
up.
That's actually Alchemist Fire. My bad.
I was mixing this flask of acid
My
next
bad.
to my teapot. Got them mixed up.
You can't tell the
Oops.
difference?
Oh my god.
No, they both have the same greenish tint. I don't.
This
one
will just kill you.
Green
You
It
tea
just
will.
gets hot when it's in contact with air.
green tea or alchemist fire. They look really similar.
So,
So I just imagine we take most of the day to debrief him.
what's the party want to do for the rest of the day?
I'm waiting.
For the last 3 minutes of the day.
Imagine we're both waiting.
Mm.
You're probably not. You're subtly waiting. You're trying not to look like you're waiting. You're preoccupied with something else,
I'm
but
like,
you're actually
I'm
waiting.
reading the giant book.
You have a giant book?
On
And every
Christmas
so often,
Bagman.
your eyes flicker to the door.
As in, she's been on the same page for 4 hours.
I'm showing Zachary my cool
Sorry.
That's the
stick.
problem. That's why you did
You have a cool
Are you
stick?
showing him?
It's my handle that turns into weapons. Because it's malleable weapons. It can be anything I want to.
He says, that's sweet. Also, it is tied. You learn that it is tied specifically to followers of Nogrix, because he attempts to use it and he can't get it to activate.
Oh.
Does he know Minoir?
That's a handy feature.
No, you haven't told.
Probably
What
not.
did I learn from home?
I had a question.
Does he know I'm a Vasar?
But you
Yes.
could use it.
Does he know he's a Vasar?
I could.
Because I thought he was.
Does
Can I try to
he-
use the hilt in that conversation?
Sure.
Try to use it.
Roll a wisdom check.
'Cause I mean, oh,
Interesting.
that might be weird.
How faithful are you?
I mean, I'm pretty faithful, but I think there might be something else at play here. What is my...
There's a reason we were both in the Holy Land.
That's interesting.
He's slowly turning.
Is
into
it like the
a guy
sword
now.
and the staff
11.
type of deal?
It does not
it-
activate.
it's a handle. And then when I hold
It's
it,
the
that's right,
actual
it grows
half
like
of a weapon.
bones and then
Doesn't
little
activate.
dragon
I'm very
scales
concerned.
and-
It doesn't activate?
I eye your sword and I eye you.
You piece of shit.
Oh, I think you figured it out.
darkness in.
Shit.
I have questions.
I think that's probably more.
You and
Yeah.
your sword have.
Does he know anything about person's beckoning?
Yeah, sure.
What does he know? Does he know more than what I've read?
Nope.
Damn it.
Does anyone know anything?
He's like, eventually we're gonna get overrun with.
20 wizard.
We'll have Darkest War 2.0. Who cares?
I'll say eventually we're gonna learn up close and personal. At the rate this is
I need you to go back to sleep and talk to Seer some more.
I was about to ask what I needed to ask him.
Take me with you.
That's not my decision, actually.
Well,
It
you
is
should
your decision.
try to convince your angry man and the weapon.
It's not so much your decision.
Well, I
as,
can.
like,
You
her
can tell me
first
what you
ones.
want to know.
He's-
Well, I'm not
Sad.
coming this time.
But Valor said that it was your decision.
JP roll will say.
Oh my god.
Is this a a +2?
No, it's not a subsequent save.
Where's your string?
23.
Nothing happens.
We need to know as much about Curzon's beckoning as possible. Like, how it happens, what happens, how do you tell what's happening?
He explains that if anybody knew all this, it would be the White Rose family, and even if they did, I feel like they would have shared that by now.
I want him to ask Seer.
I mean,
Oh,
if
okay.
I scepter, I can steal her books.
Can you?
Try.
Oh.
Hope's like, no, Vale, just stop. No.
We don't need to go stealing stuff from royalty.
Ask him if he knows about how Dragonheart survived the Curzon's Beckoning forever ago.
Are you going to sleep?
Huh?
We had to talk about this first. Are you going to sleep?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I first asking Zachary if he knew about the Dragonheart's, the thing that he did with the guy who did with the Zodiac. I would ask it in the way that it's in textbooks, but whether or not he knew about that.
No.
So he didn't know about that.
It's not something he's ever been interested in.
Okay.
Curzon's Beckoning. He explains that Curzon's Beckoning is not his problem. He was from Valor. That's where he plans to return if it ever starts occurring again.
It's like, oh, that's
How do we get a one-way ticket to fuck this place?
That's fair.
I'm going to treat this as a crazy ex-girlfriend's apartment for the next couple of years. I'll be back. Never.
Never. But other than that, I would ask everyone if they have any specific things I need to find out from.
How old are the scepters?
Yeah.
What would they be used for or doing right now? Maybe
Well, I don't know that the scepter wasn't part of my thing yet.
That's true.
He just built the thing to make it invisible out of like a fuckload of Zodiac. It was actually one metric fuckload.
1 metric.
For all I know, he had a whole other fuckload in the other room. He just opened a chest.
Did
and
you
it
ever
was,
actually ask what it knows about Curzon's Beckoning?
I don't think.
Like,
It hasn't
in
happened
depth?
yet, I don't think.
asked Valor what he knew about
Yeah.
Curzon's Beckoning.
Oh.
I feel like the conversation came up, but I don't remember in what context.
I don't know if it was much because he's kind of not even from this plane.
But he's experienced.
A
Because
lot
he
of
was
things.
he was in
Yeah,
what's
we
his
asked him
name?
a lot of questions because he had Maverick.
Yeah, he's experienced
Maverick,
multiple
that's it. He was
Curzon's
in Maverick.
Beckonings. He enjoys them because he kills a lot of demons.
How low do I have to go, Joe?
Oh god. There you
There.
go.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
That's ridiculous.
Jesus.
That was creepy, but fine.
You?
So anyway,
Um,
do you want to take a nap, or are you gonna ask your sword?
about Curtain's Beckoning?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while. You can pry again.
Well, I mean, we haven't been, we've been talking about Curtain's Beckoning for the last, like, 10 minutes, right? Like, character-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he's in the room, but I would turn to the sword at some point and be like, got any particular input?
Raziel falls asleep.
I figured.
Yep.
Everyone's like,
You're in that dark place.
uh-huh.
I strip
And
him
then
down.
sitting down across from
Put
you
him
is
on
a
the bed.
small girl. She appears to be about 8 years old. And she's playing with knights made of sticks and dragons made of pine cones on the ground.
This is where I expected to know. Does an 8-year-old human child?
She looks human, except for the fact that her knees bend backwards, her feet end in cloven hoofs, and she appears to have vines for hair.
So human.
Andrea, take off that disguise. Oh,
That's what
jeez.
girls look like, right?
Hey.
You said human and I said Medusa at the same time, and we were both wrong.
Suddenly, Anna, like, Anna kicks a hole in the shins.
Good.
Does it look anything like our friend from what was her
Hadra.
face? Hadra? Yeah.
Hadra.
Hey.
So it looks like
Hadra's
Hadra,
Hadra.
but like an 8-year-old Hadra.
Yeah.
Does she seem to notice me?
Not at first, and then she, one of the pine cones rolls into your foot, and then she looks up at you. Oh, hi!
Hello! I pick up the pine cone and give it back.
And you break it.
I think I can pick up the goddamn pine
You've got a real dragon now.
Aw.
I'm
Where-
a slave.
I'm sorry, but where am I? Or where are we?
Home.
Where's home?
It doesn't really have a name.
You have parents?
Not anymore.
This is a weird place. What's your name?
As you ask her what her name is, the area around you begins to coalesce into, it looks similar to the area that you originally just met her in. So there's like it's very fey, obviously, you're on the Vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of like small animals around that are just doing weird things with colors.
Vibrant to you?
Yeah. You notice that like behind her is like not so much a hut as like you recognize it as a place in which creatures would live, but it does not look like you would live there.
Okay.
So it appears to be made out of tree bark that's constantly moving.
Vibrant's fucking weird.
Flowers that seem to like get up and walk around and like plop themselves back into the ground just to stay in the sun as the sun moves. In any case, she says, "My name's Hadra. Hi. Who are you?"
Raziel.
Oh, I was just going to call you Dragon Man, but that's fine.
People call me Dragon Man. I'm okay with that.
Okay, Dragon Man. Why are you here?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I was asking a friend about an event called Curzon's Beckoning, but I don't expect you to know much about that.
What's that like?
Not knowing a lot, or
Being a dumbass. What's that like?
What's it like having an intelligence score below 40?
Savage.
It's a bunch of demons spill out of a mountain and attack my people.
Monsters.
Monsters. I keep saying
They
demons,
don't
but it
spill
isn't.
out again.
It is monsters.
Yes.
They gather and
They are
What
beckoned.
What
They are
is
beckoned.
your name?
to a mountain. How about that?
To a place? That sounds fun. Do you fight the monsters? Do we win?
We have so far, I think. I haven't experienced one personally.
How do you know it's real then?
I've seen it, but not personally through
What if it's not real?
the eyes of other people who have
what are these people?
experienced it.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a battle, a big battle between a lot of monsters, and who fights the monsters?
good people. Hopefully, maybe.
What do good people look like? I've never met one of those.
I don't know that you would have met many of them. They're not from this place.
Ouch.
Oh.
Shots fired.
Are they from the boring place?
Yeah.
Where the colors are muted and the people are boring?
Yep.
Oh. I've met some of those.
On their place or here?
A little bit of both.
Were they nice?
Some of them were.
Where are they now?
Still there.
Where's there?
Where they live.
Where's that?
Wow, meaningful conversations with children.
They live
Brad, are you sure you weren't a 6-year-old girl in here?
over here. And then she just gets up and walks towards like this.
I follow.
It looks like a sheet of glass. Surrounding it are like trees, and then on the right side is like it looks like a glorious city that you can barely make out. In any case, as you walk with her, you're moving way faster than you intended. When she first turns towards it's just like a small speck in the distance, and then within like 5 seconds, you're like at its banks. She gestures around.
Like, as in, like,
Here!
the city? Is that what she's gesturing at?
No, you're just in like a small clearing next to the lake.
This is where you met them?
Yeah! Well, sometimes I can visit them too.
Does it look like there is a portal, or was? Because we went through one to the vibrant.
This is way far away from you.
Well, I just mean, like, does it resemble the clearing that we came out of? So there isn't a castle. Interesting.
I usually have to go this way, and then she goes south for a little while, and she ends up in like the small. It's not a cave so much as like a space under a whole lot of tree roots that sort of resembles a cave, but it's filled with like small little flying mice.
Flying mice.
Oh,
Alright.
She wants one.
I do. Can you
Does she go in the cave? Like, why did she bring me to the cave?
She's walking into it.
Violet would
They
What's in
follow
there?
that.
The place where we can visit them.
What else is in there?
Danger.
Danger?
Sure we want to go in there?
I'll be fine,
You won't.
but you're a dragon man. They might not like you.
What I'm worried about.
It's fine. If you die, you'll die.
That's also what I'm worried about.
Kids.
Oh well. It's not my problem. She just walks into the cave.
I don't know with what I've learned that I really want to go in this cave.
It's not very big. That's all I'm doing.
I'll go towards the cave.
Okay. You
The mouth of the
part
cave?
some weird vines that you thought were vines, but they're actually just moths sitting on like strings. And they all flutter away as you get close. Inside is a small, like it looks like a campsite. There's a bunch of like fallen logs underneath this place, and then there's a small fire pit that's glowing like green and blue and purple and other weird colors as the fire moves around. And she's sitting on a log and she's just rocking back and forth.
So there's a vibrant fire
Mm-hmm.
and some logs around it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else going on in here?
Nope. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of flying mice.
Oh, just, you know.
They look like bats.
But
They have
nice.
bat wings, but they're mice. And they have really long tails.
That's super adorable.
And they're really furry.
Furry mice.
And they're iridescent, so they have like crazy colors.
I need them. Bring them back to me.
I don't think Raziel would think to bring back the flying mice. He'd
I
be
don't
like,
think he could.
he'd be like, huh. Alright. I go sit by young Hydra. Hydra. Hail Hydra.
Hey, Adrian.
After a few seconds, the cave gets darker. begins to get significantly darker. And to the point where the only person you can see is Hadra sitting next to you.
Aww.
And then you find yourself in a clearing on the material plane. You're surrounded by pine trees covered in snow. About 3 inches of snow on the ground. In the distance north of you, you appear to be sitting on a large hill overlooking a fishing village.
Is it Dragonheart?
Yep.
Perhaps.
Dragonheart, as you remember it when you last spoke to Seer.
Okay. Does Hadra look like she's staying here, or what's
Oh no, she gets up and begins frolicking towards the village.
I follow Hadra and I say it's probably really annoying moving on this plane for you.
Sort of. It's cold here.
Yeah. Otherwise, track towards Dragonheart.
Okay. You arrive in Dragonheart. The everyone in the town can't seem to see her,
Mm-hmm.
and they generally ignore her, and she just plays pranks on all of them.
Yeah, I don't make any make it apparent that I see her either.
She does eventually she causes a fight between two shopkeepers as she takes their wallets and replaces them.
Like switches them?
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Their bags, their little satchels of coins and local currency, due to the fact that you're sitting in a Dragonheart that, if you recall, is hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
So there are no large buildings or anything.
Right. I try to corral her towards Seer's hut thing.
Are we gonna go visit my old friend? He
think-
wasn't old when I first met him.
I think so.
Cool. She goes in, and then he goes, Hadra! And they talk for a few minutes. Mostly they speak in a language you don't understand.
What's this? Why do I only gotta speak 2 languages? Do I recognize? What is it?
It's the Fey language. Oh my god.
Oh, they're speaking in Fey?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So this man knows Fey, Draconic, Israel.
What is it? What is it?
He barely knows.
Farlish!
No, at this point he knows Draconic pretty well.
Can I speak that?
Anyway, they have a conversation, and then eventually he remembers that you're here. Hey, you met Hadra! That's good!
It's not my first time.
That's weird. She doesn't come around very often.
I hadn't explained to him yet that really much, if anything.
Nope.
We have a lot to talk about.
Alright. He sits down.
I'd like.
He seems to be separating Zodiac crystals between their... You actually don't know why he's separating
He has
them.
He's clearly got a method, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
Where do you start by telling someone that you're a Dragon Man from the future?
I mean, that's
Probably
probably...
there.
I'm a Dragon Man from the future.
I mean, she's Fae, so it's pretty...
I've asked him what year it is, right?
Yeah.
And you told me. I'm not going to have you look it back up. But I say, fuck it. I just tell him, I've been having these visions, and I'm actually from, whatever the fuck year I'm in. I don't know what the current year is. And, Curzon's beckoning is pretty close. And, we're trying to figure out as much as we can.
Everything around you stops moving. A familiar Elrin appears next to you on the bench. He leans over real close and goes, "You know he's not real, right? These are all just my memories from before."
Yeah, but I need to figure out the questions to ask, and sometimes people just divulge information when you throw a bunch of stuff at them.
You could have just asked me.
Well, I intended to talk to you first. Then I was watching why
Rudely
Hadra.
put to sleep.
Then I was watching why Hadra was so what's the word I'm looking for? Or is so God, I'm trying to look for the word that you would say for like someone who just didn't really get grown up and shown the way that they're supposed to act. Like,
Neglected.
what's well, I don't know if neglect is necessarily the word.
Misled.
Stunted emotionally? No. He.
Hadra makes more sense now.
Misguided.
Misguided.
she's,
I think
she-
misguided is a.
She eventually learns what she needs to survive. She didn't really have a choice.
I can't imagine it's easy. The Byron's a weird place.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what did you want to know?
What did I ask him originally? Oh, we were having a conversation about Curzon's Beckoning,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to figure out what all you knew.
Well, I never took part in it directly. I always either missed it in the beginning or the ending because I usually had other things to deal with on my own plane at the time.
Understandable, understandable. Was anyone who struck a deal with you, do you remember any of their specific accomplishments when it comes to Curzon's Beckoning? Like, did they learn anything?
I believe you've already mentioned and met Maverick.
Right.
He is the only one who took part in the Curzon's Beckoning since my departure.
I'm not there. This is meta. But why is Valor there? Why is he in? Why is he?
I know. I was. If I don't randomly wake up, that the conversation will eventually steer that way, because that's been a hot topic lately.
Hot topic.
Don't go there unless you want stuff to look like.
Actually, the last thing he just said is since my departure. Well,
Joe looks like my future ex-boyfriend.
Chaplain?
Chaplain's back.
Hey!
future ex-boyfriend. God. Sounds like a Taylor Swift song.
Joe looks like his next.
You never gave me much detail about your departure.
That's a game.
It's not something I like to dwell on for significant periods of time.
Indulge me.
Sure. Let's explain it in the simplest fashion I possibly can. I took a gamble and lost.
What was the gamble?
Control of the Fey Lords.
That's a pretty big gamble.
Generally.
You should stick to blackjack.
Those cards can't be counted.
Fact that you're alive is pretty impressive.
I would not necessarily use the term alive when speaking of my current predicament.
Confirmed. I had suspected that.
I mean, we're all living, but our aim is really alive.
How can we be?
How can we be alive if our eyes aren't alive?
But they are.
And thus brings us to our arrangement.
Mm-hmm. You experience the world and tell me of all of its glory, and you do you, and I watch.
But there's an end game.
There's always an end game. That's the glory of being eternal. My end game does not necessarily coincide with your lifespan, or any of your predecessors.
Fair enough.
However, should you... We'll just say... I'll just use the word play along, because it's the easiest way that I can explain this to you. What is the easy way to explain this? So what's the rest of the party doing?
I
Raziel sleep.
Pick him up,
Yeah.
put him to bed, tuck him in.
I was gonna say you.
Zachary follows you and says, "Oh, that's cute." Does he have narcolepsy often?
Oh.
Something like that.
Alrighty then. That
Is
seems...
Zachary magical?
What?
Is Zachary
He's a
magical?
Palladian.
So he might be able to just detect that shit all over the sword.
Oh, man down.
I mean, I assume I'm gonna have to speak to Zachary when I wake up. He's probably gonna ask me why I said something to a evil sword and then
Woo!
fell asleep.
I mean, did he overhear you?
I said it right in front of him.
We could say you have narcolepsy.
Hove won't give him a straight
Right,
answer.
Hove's just gonna
Hove's
give him a-
tell him that he's gonna have to talk
We
to
don't
the
understand.
field.
That's what I was gonna
so
say.
much. It's
You
gonna
should
have
ask-
to come from
True.
him.
Like,
I would say just tell him you should ask him. Like,
Yeah.
Vale doesn't even really get it. Genuinely, so.
Yeah.
maybe you just haven't tried to sleep with your sword yet.
Not yet.
That seems
Speaking
weird.
of which, are the boys still out?
Yeah.
No, they eventually come back after about 2 hours of Raziel being asleep, which is roughly about the time frame we're currently in his dream.
What,
Elric and Rowan stumble in the front door. They seem to be having a grand old time, and they're talking about Eric's new digs. He apparently got a new suit and a bunch of other sweet new...
So they went shopping?
And got drunk.
Okay, I was
You
about to
said
say.
grand old time.
Yeah, I assume they
The
were.
grand old time involved fighting in the pits.
Oh.
They probably do pretty well.
That
If you can do like
does
2v2s,
sound
is that a game mode in the
Yeah,
pits?
for you guys.
Shut up, you're asleep.
Wake up, I want
Are
to
we
go
in
play
election
pits.
I know where we're going tomorrow.
So cute.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
My standards have dropped significantly.
Wow.
It don't go through portals, buddy system.
if we can accomplish that.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
good.
I take my victories. I guess I made dinner.
They're like, we'll remake dinner.
Wow.
You're not there.
Wow.
Hove makes dinner.
Please
For
tell
everyone?
me that it's
For everyone this
I
time?
transferred my
Did you bring enough
consciousness
for the
into
glass
into a sword of my physical body, which is also my soul usually, was destroyed,
Is it
making me
Walnut
basically a Phagos haunting a sword. You're onto something, Spencer. Let's see if you're right.
What's for dinner, Hove?
Yeah, Hope, what's for dinner?
Oh.
Raziel?
It's
Remaking.
Fried dragon wings?
no a traditional Mithrain dish.
So mushrooms in a bowl of bland
No,
broth.
There's mutton.
Who's my...
He killed his ram.
Oh no.
No, I bought a different one and killed it.
I let the ram kill the ram and then cooked it.
Did you battle?
There
bought
literally
one
wasn't
without
any
the
like
battle?
mutton for sale, probably. So I literally bought a
God,
goat
is it right?
and butchered it downstairs.
You guys just hear the death cries of a
Oh
goat.
my god.
You look over the back, like, what the oh, alright.
Bonk.
Is dinner like finished around the time they get back?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They sit down and eat.
I also
And
wear an apron.
They
the entire
joke
time.
back and forth about,
My apron?
No, your food.
Oh, okay.
What do they joke about?
It's not the best
Um,
meal, but not the worst.
they seem to be having a conversation that doesn't make any sense.
What are they talking about?
Like one of them said something about like a Vasar, and then the other one was like 10 minutes later, Elric refers to that same Vasar as a Amorite.
Do you want to explain what you're talking about?
No, not particularly.
Well, it's kind of rude at a table with a bunch of other people.
I mean, we're speaking in Bavalish at least.
But it doesn't matter if no one understands.
You're right. Sorry, we were doing recon.
On what?
The Void, of course.
Would you like to share with the class?
Once Raziel gets up.
Ulrich,
That could be a while.
Rowan, this is Zachary.
'Cause last time he was asleep for
Zachary,
like 3
this
weeks.
is Ulrich and Rowan.
I'm not gonna be asleep.
At
Now I know.
At least Hove has the decency to introduce us to your new friend.
Shots fired.
Yeah, that's his friend.
He's safe. You can talk
Nice
freely
introduction.
around him.
Good. So anyway, the Void hangs out at the. They appear to.
I've been slaving over a hot stove all day. Okay.
One
Thank you,
second.
Ro.
My sound is good that time. Just sit in the bathroom and read.
Aw, thanks, Chaplain.
Oh god.
It's got hedgehogs on them.
I know I had to applaud Andrew's scarf and Brad's jammies. Fuck yeah.
I thought you were about to say fuck you, and I was like, but that's a compliment. What's wrong?
Don't you fucking compliment me.
They seem to be hanging out at a bar known as the Wickeds.
Okay.
It used to be a place where one would go to release stress, a fight club, as it were.
Do they look beat up at all?
No.
Of course they wouldn't.
Like at all? They don't even need band-aids?
Nope, no band-aids.
Okay.
Eric has a small scuff above his eye, and that's it. Oh, come here,
Look
baby.
at me, I don't care.
Put some dirt on it.
I'm not gonna
Put
take
some
care
dirt
of
on
it.
that, it'll be fine.
Anyway, he
5
explains
days
that
later, it's
Oh god.
mostly they're
That's
attempting to
fucking
get a number count for the void. Find out places they hang out, where they go, because they can't all stay at Doom and Gloom's estate. So,
Doomy McGloomingtons.
Appreciated. Much appreciated.
also we're trying to figure out how they get new members. It's slightly confusing because it doesn't necessarily make any sense.
And they're not all wearing rings, so it's not just
None of them are. That's the funny part.
the matter of mind control. I mean,
They're
a
shadow
big
demons.
chunk of them are shadow demons.
Yeah, but we understand that. But you
You still need to
don't-
get the body.
Yeah, you don't.
Says Raziel in his
usually-
sleep.
You don't usually end up in that kind of situation willingly.
Well, I would imagine it would be more difficult now because he's not doing it, but that's what What's-His-Face was doing to the guys in that outlying village, so he might have other people doing that and sending bodies here. Because they were transferring, they were...
So they're
making-
outsiders.
Yeah, isn't that what we determined he was doing? Is he
Makes
was, like,
sense.
binding...
Well, we know he was doing that. Sorry.
Yeah. So maybe there's more people doing that.
Possible.
Yeah.
Maybe there's places in the city where they're being made. Maybe we should shut those down.
That's something to look for.
That'd be dope.
So Raziel,
He was trying to explain to me his predicament, I think.
sure. So
He lost the game.
the war for the Night Court did not end particularly in my favor, as you may have guessed.
Confirmed.
To follow that up, my essence was placed inside Valor, and that's about it, really. Actually, that was an accident. They didn't necessarily mean for me to remain free in any way.
Where's your body?
I tried taking you there. You refused.
I refused?
You refused.
You refuse.
Where is there?
The ruins of the Night Court.
We had to go back. We didn't have time. Just not to interfere, just that's what had happened if you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
The portal was closing.
You're going to be stuck there for 4 months if you didn't.
Oh, right. It's definitely on my list of places to go.
I knew we could have
That'd be
waited,
good.
waited out Christmas lightning and Viber.
That sounds nice.
Seems like you really wanted me to go there. Is
Uh-huh.
there anything you want me to do while I'm there?
States.
You're like, maybe we should have just stayed.
It's hard to explain, but the link between me and the sword gets tenuous if I don't remain in contact with myself. At least over a course of a certain period of time, which is usually why you found me in that pool, and most people didn't take me very far from there or return there frequently.
Is the pool a direct link?
Yes, the pool is my life essence
On the
seeping onto the material plane, and your alchemist friend happened to bottle it up and has been using it as healing potion.
You taste pretty good.
It's fucking weird.
That is weird if you ever tell me that.
It saved the shit out of our lives probably more than
Yeah,
once, though.
oh, yeah.
I don't know if I want to drink those anymore.
He's got a weird ass.
Probably shouldn't. It tastes like
What did it taste like?
meadows and rainfall.
Sounds delicious.
You taste a lot less edgy than you are.
Shit.
So he doesn't really know too much about the Crimson's Beckoning.
Well, not on your plane, no.
Elaborate. What happens here?
It's not necessarily the same, but normally it's hard to explain. To put it in the simplest way I possibly can, the emotions of the Fae on the Vibrant are brought to a
Boiling point?
no. Brought to There's a lot of sex and killing. Let's just put it that way.
Whoa.
More than usual, then.
Both.
It's actually how I ended up in my predicament.
Was it during?
Which one?
Which one?
Which one?
Yeah.
Generally, don't attempt to assassinate multiple Fey Lords at once.
Alright, so you need to focus on the first part of that equation.
I already have enough children to last me a significant number of times.
Why does he say last me? It sounds like he's using. Does he eat his baby?
No.
Oh no.
Yes. Maybe murdering less murder-backy people. Let's try and not overthrow the entire political scheme you're playing.
We'll see. It's actually really interesting because if I happen to kill a Fey Lord in single combat, I gain his domains.
Fucking Highlander.
How far did you get in your conquest before they brought you down?
3,
How many Fey Lords are there? Do I know that?
17.
Damn. How many did it take to bring you down?
The rest of them.
Impressive. Okay. I don't know that Raziel has much else that he would ask you. He was just going to ask about beckoning. It turns the Fae into weird. Does it feel like it comes from somewhere? Or do all the Fae just get...
He gestures to the Grand City.
What happens?
On the Vibrant, during Curzin's beckoning, all the Fae get real horny and real bloodthirsty.
Oh, okay.
Damn, Joe. Let's do that tongue thing again.
And he feels like it radiates from the. Is that like the main city on the Vibrant? Do I know?
No, he explains that it's not the capital city. There is no capital city.
Right.
It's essentially the center of neutral territory.
It's the main neutral city.
He explains that the area that you know is sealed on the material plane is neutral territory for all of the factions.
Oh.
It's interesting.
It always has been.
Oh. How about that?
It's actually really interesting. There's been a... Let's just say I need to get back to my body and resurrect it. We'll just leave it at that. Mostly because apparently a Fey Lord was just killed in recent years. And his essence was not claimed because he was killed by a mortal. So it's just kind of hanging around. That would make it 5. Well, they took my other 3 back, so that would make it 2. But my sister still has her 3.
Your sister?
Yeah.
Have I met your sister?
No. You'd be dead. She's less playful than most.
Where's she at? So I don't go there.
She would be in your version of Cyprus, I think. On our end, she's the Queen of the Sun. She also owns the sky and the oceans.
Any other potentially extremely deadly siblings I should know about?
No, she's the only sister I have.
How does one resurrect you?
Good question. I haven't figured that out yet. I've been stuck here on your stupid plane in Trump Tower.
Okay. Interesting.
Chaplain, why are you... What? Andrew, why do you hate Chaplain so much? Maybe Chaplain really enjoys Joe. Ever think of that? Joe is like the Asian version of Harry Potter.
I mean, that is a pretty solid compliment. And he did compliment me on my favorite hedgehog scarf.
Fair.
Very fair.
Okay, so we've confirmed a link between the Vibrant, or not so much a link, but we know that the Vibrant's affected by Curzin's beckoning, albeit not the same way, but in a way. He wants to be resurrected. That's what we thought he wanted. He didn't have necessarily anything about the material Curzon's beckoning, though.
Spencer, what did you figure out of character?
Scroll up.
Oh, it was
He's
the
right. He's basically right.
sword.
Sort of. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I don't know that I have any,
Raziel wakes up.
Yep.
You guys are talking about, you're in the middle of the conversation about where the Void hang out, and if you could figure out who's making them and then stop them, and then Raziel stumbles into the room.
I want to stumble in, if this is possible, when they're talking about the fighting pits.
Sure.
Stumble in. Hove, want to go to the fighting pits?
What did you dream about, Raziel?
Oh, so he, Zachary turns to you and says he dreams while he's asleep?
Don't you?
Not usually, no.
That's weird.
No. Not really.
I say, gotta leave it open and see what Zachary says, 'cause it's entertaining.
Many of the Darkest War veterans are glad that we do not.
I met Hadra when she was 8-ish. Didn't really ask.
Oh.
It was weird. And then I had a nice long conversation with my, what do you call a,
Valor.
yeah, we'll just say with Valor.
Zachary butts in with, who the fuck is Valor?
Glance at the sword.
What the fuck have I gotten myself into?
Yeah, we're still not sure.
You haven't really gotten
Yeah.
yourself into much. So what have I gotten myself into? It's more of the question.
Do I have permission to kill him if he ever goes rogue?
No.
I mean,
That's his responsibility.
I mean,
if he tries to hurt us, sure.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll
But
be an issue.
It's mostly. Yeah.
I explained that Valor doesn't know much about the Curzon's back in the material, but on the Vibrant it makes the Fae go horny and bloodthirsty.
Oh.
That's how he wound up in the predicament he's in.
Because of the first one or the second?
He didn't particularly tell me which one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would assume it's a while ago,
This,
given I already know that he experienced many hundreds of years on the material, so considering he experienced
No idea what caused it.
the beckoning, he mentions it feels like it comes from a city on their plane, but not much other than that,
Weird.
at least on their side.
We found out where the Void hangs out and stuff, so we're working on it. They're working on it.
You know about the
Anything else?
Vibrant, Zachary?
Nothing.
Alright.
Don't want to go. Don't never been.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't like it.
It's not fun. Anything else?
What didn't I say? Out of character.
Got a sibling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to remember what I didn't actually say.
The part that would be most alarming to Hope.
That I really don't want to meet his sister.
What's her name?
What did I say her name was? Or did I
Didn't
not?
give you one.
I didn't get a name.
nice.
But I know her title. Which is probably more important.
What
Go
is
on.
What was it? The
Lady of the
that's what I
Sun,
thought. Lady of the Sun.
the Queen of Skies,
Skies.
and the Matron of Waves.
Like if we were ever in the Vibrant, I'm not going to hear her name. Someone
It's
would
the
be
most
referring to her as-
anti-Hove thing ever. I
Yeah.
don't like swimming. I don't like being up high.
Oh my god.
And
I
he
like
gets
the dark.
sunburned easy.
I have very fair skin.
Very fair skin.
When he shaves his beard, it's translucent.
I just see it's like throat. I'm like, what the fuck? Confirmed his goal is to resurrect. He doesn't even know how.
Well, good.
Oh, I explained that the reason he wanted me to go to his grave is because he kind of needs to occasionally to maintain the link. Right? Is that how he explained it?
Also, you've been drinking his blood, and it's weird.
At that point, I turned on and I say, the potions we have are him.
Like,
Well, I was just eating mashed potatoes. I'm still eating mashed potatoes.
I still,
mean,
have
with your
10 I still have 10 of these left. I don't know if I want to use them anymore.
Zelphus. Zachary Hawkins is a paladin of Vangal that the party had met in way, way, way earlier sessions that they thought was just a badass and turned out to be highly involved because they didn't ask the right questions when they met him the first time.
Yeah,
There was more pressing matters the first time.
Like,
Yes,
We didn't actually even know Edgar's name yet, though.
Nope.
So
he was also Edgar, who was the Vantas. It's his father.
Yes.
He's sired the fucking Ventus. Maybe we should kill him.
Spencer, that's pretty accurate. Except in the case of Fey Lords, in which case they possess their own pool, and it is already delegated into 17 separate sections, so they don't plan
If you
to
don't want me to plug it in, just tell me, jerk.
share it.
I had to do it 3 times.
What the hell is this
Didn't fit.
Of course.
I kind of look at Valor and I say, I ask if the potions would be any useful to him.
They grant him more time.
There's plenty of that.
Oh, does he need to go back? Is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
How long until I need to go back?
What?
I say, how long until we need to go back?
Don't know. I have no way of knowing.
How's the connection feel?
How you feeling, buddy?
I feel fine for now, I guess.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how close to being gone are you?
I don't know. I'm in my 50s, so 8 or so.
I say that it could strengthen. It could be a temporary measure if we are a long way from the pool. If we keep them around.
What happens if you give one to a Raziel?
Heal him, I bet.
Probs.
Because we've all had them.
Yeah.
All
Well-
of us have drinking at least one of those healing
Well,
potions.
Anna specifically tuned the magic to them to be
Knowing
she
this-
alchemized them.
Knowing this information, would I be able to maybe either work with Hove and Violet or something
discern something else about the liquid.
Are there any long-term effects with drinking this? I'm slightly concerned.
There is no way for you to know.
Okay,
I mean, we can.
You become addicted to Fey blood,
maybe.
and we raid the
She's the
vibrant
one
and
who
die
would.
immediately.
You want to help,
Yeah,
not me. I would.
I
not.
just thought you, because Clara Keeley. But probably.
I just get powers from a god and use them. I don't know how they work.
One of my
Just
friends
work.
just went to Wawa, put air in my tires. As I'm reading the directions, a guy pulled up and said, "Can I do it for you?" When he's done, I thank him, and he says, "Full disclosure, I'm in a rush and didn't want to wait for you to figure it out." Fuck. I wasn't being nice. You're just in my way. Joe is like the Asian Justin Bieber of D&D.
Not really sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm a little mixed on that one.
Not many people want to be associated with Justin Bieber.
I mean, I usually definitely don't.
I was like, Spencer, what do you mean, Paladin of Angle? He's literally the protection deity of good and lawfulness. He
didn't
is.
think it was something else. He probably thought it was something else.
Yeah.
Fangle was like.
No joke. The lines at Wawa for free air get intense.
Because everyone's entitled to that free air, so like somebody parks on the other side of the person that's currently getting air, you lock eyes with them, and you're like, I'm next, right?
You motherfucker.
The worst is when the parking lot isn't laid out correctly.
I
and you have
mixed
a car
up
coming
Vangle
from
and
this
Xanon.
way
Oh
or
yeah,
this
that
way,
happens.
and
That happens.
you fight.
It goes like that.
I mixed Vangle and Xanon. Yeah, that's a bit off.
A little bit.
Might not end well for anyone involved. Anyway, so what's the party want to do?
Suddenly, Hove realizes he's been worshiping Xanon this whole time.
He got Xanon points today.
Oh yeah.
One thing I want to do that doesn't necessarily have to be right now is I want to find out how.
Fight the fighting pits?
Could someone kick the ottoman a little?
No.
I can't reach it. Thank you.
I want to find out how Ulrich save
That's me.
Rowan from
The nightmare.
the nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because it's weird because
Yeah, I want to ask about that, but I don't want to pry.
like Rowan
Yeah,
being
that'd be
affected
you.
by the nightmare is very
Weird in the first place.
yeah.
That would be a very
Let alone-
good question.
Him having a way.
Sure.
Hey, how'd you do that thing?
Hey,
It doesn't have to be right now.
Is that a date conversation?
Because I keep forgetting about it. And
I'll take you
Cool.
to a private place, and we can discuss this matter further between me, you, and Rowan.
over
we're
King
taking
Lloyd.
Rowan with us.
Yeah, we have to. He's the only person who can explain what it's like inside of his own head.
Can we take Vale?
Yeah, she wants to come.
It'll be a double.
Mentally, Val, do you want to come?
Yeah, I assumed I was
Mental
invited.
mind double D.
Yes, I invited you.
You guys going on a date.
Dude, Circle, I hate
No.
you. I want Cinesticks again. Fuck.
Oh, man.
Why
Oh,
you do
no.
this?
Why'd you do this, Sergal? Why?
Okay. Anyway, the girls and boys go out on a date, and your friend explains that Rowan came under the waking nightmare due to his actions in the Darkest War. Specifically, he was stationed in the Strait of Despair. Before it was the Strait of Despair.
When it was still part of.
When it was still land.
And less despairing.
Elric explains that he was also stationed there, but on Silrai's side instead of Raziel, and the situation arose in which case the Vandal, known as Rumorascar, utilized his grand ability to set large portions of the fighting force into the Waking Nightmare, essentially removing them from combat, and should they fail to succeed at overthrowing the inner nightmares left behind, would become part of his main forces. That's primarily how he fought.
It's like necromancy, but without having to actually kill them first.
Yep.
Living necromancy.
Well, like, necromancy, you usually have to, like, lose some of your already existing force to kill their force, to gain their force. But this one is just like, bloop, bloop. There was no battle. They just...
Question on this setting, good, undead, or deathless. I would tell you to read Elisar.
Yeah. Yep.
Maestro Moral.
We're good.
Follow that up. And Elric explains that he ended up tailing Rowan for a significant amount of time.
Why him specifically?
Um,
Were they friends like before that, or he just
no.
that one? I'm gonna follow him.
He was assigned him by a superior officer. Elric refuses, regardless of how much you ask him, he does not talk about who he worked for during the Darkest War.
I have an idea. I wonder. Raziel's in the other room. I know who it is. You son of a bitch.
I'll find out one day.
You can ask the person sitting next to you. She knows.
What?
I said you can ask the person sitting next to you. She knows.
Andrea.
Who was he working for?
No one.
A girl has no name.
Oh, it was you. Okay.
In any case, he eventually
Oh,
followed Rowan back to Asealed and
Just New York.
freed him from the Waking Nightmare.
How?
Well,
That's what I want to know.
imagine if you could enter another person's dreams. So,
Raziel from the other room.
So-
Uh-huh.
yeah, tell me more.
Go on.
But he didn't catch up with him until like Shard Falls, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't know him at all.
No. That's all. That's all.
He entered his dreams.
Yep.
Well, because don't you know the Waking Nightmare is like meta, does she know? Like, you can beat the nightmare?
She would know that.
Right, that's what I meant. Like, I was just clarifying in case Ashley didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, you could get affected and then win. So basically the implication there is...
So he essentially went in his dreams and pulled him out.
Well, it went in and either pulled him out or
Defeated the
Defeated,
entity
yeah.
left behind.
defeated whatever Remorsegar put in.
So Remorsegar's whole
Brain
deal.
shadows? He
Uh,
defeated brain shadows.
Yeah, essentially.
Yep.
Okay.
And the thing is that if the afflicted don't survive the mental battle with their nightmare shadows, they get taken over by the nightmare shadows.
Yep, and then they die.
So Rowan probably had to still
Or in the
have
case
been.
of some Amorites,
possessed.
become possessed.
Basically.
So Rowan had to probably still have been fighting, but probably weakly the whole time, but was probably still possessed.
You got some help.
And then suddenly, a slightly edgy Amorai came and said,
Oh, hey, buddy, I have blue hair. I help.
"I help. Me help you. Would you like help?"
Dot, dot, dot.
Okay.
Dot, dot, dot.
You're doing me a concern.
What are we having for dinner?
I think it's in the outlying area section.
How long was Rowan in the night?
Who do I look up for my answer? The Nation of Elsar or the Harrow Joe answer?
It's in the outlying areas.
Yeah,
it's after the
arrows.
nations.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's where
It's not. Yeah.
It will be in the campaign setting. It will not be in the player's guide.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long was he nightmared?
Roughly 6 or 7 months or so.
That's pretty gross.
Amorai don't last that long normally, right?
What?
They don't last that long.
No, normally humans usually die right away.
Right. Humans, it's like
He is very
Oh.
strong.
humans don't usually have any psionic.
They do not
Yeah.
possess the mental fortitude to throw off the interior nightmares.
Right.
Considering that Amorai barely survived the
He
waking
might,
nightmare.
yeah. He might be something special.
Oh, you're totally fast.
Anyway,
Did you say noir or horror?
both.
He's
What
a
did you say?
he's
I
a
heard
Noahor.
orc.
A
Noahor.
Noahor.
I heard orc.
He's an orc.
He's an orc, actually.
Yeah, you've actually been sitting with an orc.
Suddenly, it all comes back to Vale.
He's like this guys.
What's wrong with orc?
Like a really shitty disguise
What's
that
wrong
she
with
just
orcs?
noticed.
It's a human mask, like you get on Alice.
Right, like the ones that the
Wow.
Alice and WoW masks. She's like, holy shit. She lifts up the mask.
What's
Why
wrong
is your
with
face so clammy and dry?
I heard a horse.
Orcs are beautiful.
It's a Rosnod.
Oh my god.
Rosnod is all of your enemies.
I leave.
And allies.
I don't know where I go, but I leave.
The world is a Rosnod.
You go outside?
No.
Oh, okay.
Where are we?
If he's a horse,
Inside?
yeah.
Oh,
If he's a horse, yeah.
he took you to where would he have taken you?
Do another part in the apartment?
No.
Or up to the roof?
It's a date, so he had to have taken her somewhere. He took her to the Glinting Vale.
Oh,
Yeah, glinting.
Wow, how appropriate.
sounds really classy.
Like Vale or like Vale like a meadow?
Vale.
Or like veal. The glinting veal.
I can't handle you guys at all.
In any case, the Glinting Vale is a
Wait,
open stage theater location.
He's private. You taking me to an open stage theater location?
Yeah,
You can get a private box.
you have
seat.
private seats.
Are we
It's
in
like
nice clothes?
it's like not necessarily, but sure. Everyone else around you is dressed nice.
I mean, you can look dressed nice whenever you want.
Yeah, he tells you the story of Rowan's successful thing.
Cool.
What's the rest of the party doing? Hoph, Anna, where are you guys going?
Ah.
You guys going on the
Zachary
date?
leaves with Rosnod and rides around the city.
Aww.
Probably
Buddy
finishing
system.
up cleaning the plates and dishes. I'd probably help you because you made such a delicious dinner.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm probably eating leftovers that
Y'all need to roll some flirt checks because this is awkward.
Do it.
flirt check
Is
it.
that a charisma roll?
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn
God.
right it is.
Good. They're dump stats.
3.
Oh shit.
Vale, while he's cleaning dishes, Hove
6.
finds a rancid pie that Raziel had left in the bottom of the sink and then throws up on his shoes.
Really, you're really laying it on hard there. Hope.
Charming little ladies.
And then while you're apologizing, I slip in the
Oh no.
She made the
Raziel-
I'm sorry. And she slides
It's okay, no, it's
cartoon-like
okay.
across the floor.
Raziel just like laughs all the way to Anna's room and starts a bath. And just leaves.
You might need this. Raziel, where do you go for the evening?
I'm staying in the apartment, I think.
Making fun of us.
Yeah, oh yeah, I am observing the festivities tonight.
Okay, following day comes along. What does the party want to do?
Fighting pits?
Cut maybe?
Yeah, props. It's been a long time.
It's 5. You might wanna.
Jill's
Sure.
gonna hate us.
Yeah, the 2 hour.
No, it's not bad.
Oh
You're
yeah.
welcome to
We didn't start till
Twitch,
a
don't
little
go
after.
anywhere.
This has been another episode of As Far As You Can Tell. I'm Joe. With me was JP, Ashley, Rachel, Andrea, and Brad.
Oh no.
I just went all over the place. If you want to know more about the setting we're playing, you can go to zodiacempires.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, other social medias, potentially.
YouTube.
If anyone has purchased the book or PDF, this is a request. Please go rate us on Amazon. Give us some Amazon reviews or Drive-Thru RPG reviews wherever you purchased us. It would help us out quite a bit. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.